get started. King of Pops person whose name I cannot remember. Where is the closest location I can get a banana pudding King of Pops?
In the Octane inside Atlanta.
Perfectly, because I desperately want one now. Thank you. Okay, good. So my topic, I'm going to talk not about at all what I said I was going to talk about. So we are going way off what I said I was going to talk about. Anybody ever done that before? Raise your hand. All right, so fair enough. There will be a lot of audience engagement in this. So what I'd like everybody to do real quick, close your eyes for me for one moment. And I'd like you to think about the most anxiety-ridden moment you've ever had as an entrepreneur. All right. Anybody want to share theirs? One of the extroverts. Most anxiety-ridden moment you've ever had as an entrepreneur. Firing people. Not being able to make payroll. Walking into a meeting to get rid of your partner. Key employee leaving. Are these things that regular people have to deal with every day? Absolutely not. Being an entrepreneur, I became an entrepreneur when I was 22, and I was so stupid, it was unbelievable. I can't even begin to tell you what I wish I knew then that I know now. And one of the things that I didn't know was that being an entrepreneur brings with it a lot of anxiety that other people don't ever have to deal with one single day in their lives. Now, that being said, the other A word I'm going to talk about is addiction. Does anybody here, raise your hand if you know somebody that struggled with addiction issues? It's almost everybody. So one of the things that happened as I learned about being an entrepreneur and learned that it was a heck of a lot more anxiety-ridden than anybody ever tells you about in college or when you read about things on the internet, is that you have to find ways to deal with this anxiety. And my choice initially, because I was young and stupid, was to do that by going out on the weekend, blowing off some steam, grabbing a few beers with friends, and all of a sudden that evolved over time into a much more destructive set of behaviors. And so I'm not going to get real deep into that, but the bottom line is I had a serious addiction problem with substance abuse that quite frankly could have killed me had I not been able to escape from it. And that is something I thank God for every day that I was able to escape from. The reason I'm telling you this is not so you feel bad for me or so that you think, gosh, what a great guy. The reason I'm telling you this is the following. I think that our society as a whole has a great misunderstanding about addiction and a great misunderstanding about what causes it and a great misunderstanding about how to deal with it. When I was having anxiety problems, when I was having addiction problems, anybody want to guess number of people I talked to about them? Zero. I talked to 0 people about them. And do you want to know why that is? I'm a dude. I'm not just a dude. I'm a dude that played football in high school, played football in college, and grew up with a belief system that said that if you have problems like being anxious, if you have problems like you went out too much the weekend before, if you have problems like drinking at night to put yourself to sleep, that's a character flaw. That's not a disease. That's not something that can be managed. That means there's something wrong with you. I have something to tell all of you that I want all of you to know. That's wrong. That is not right. So if you believe that, I'm sorry to tell you, you're wrong. I usually don't tell people they're wrong, but it's not a character flaw. It's a disease. And this is the way I tell people. Would you walk up to somebody and say, you know what, you're a weaker person because you got the flu last week? I don't think so. And the reason I tell you this is as follows. I think that in the entrepreneurial community, addiction and anxiety issues are rampant, and they are massively under-talked about because of the reasons that I just described, and in our society in general. And the reason that I came here to share my story is one of the things that I'm very passionate about is stopping that. I want to end that experience because I don't want anybody to ever go through what I went through. It's very painful, and candidly, I could have lost my company, I could have lost my fiance, I could have lost my life, and I'm really, really, really lucky I didn't. So, here's what I would ask you to do, all of you collectively. One is, I want you to think about it. If you know someone, and this could include yourself, that you think might have issues with anxiety or substance abuse, talk to them about them. And it might be uncomfortable for them, and they may not want to talk with you about them. Talk to them about them. Because I can't tell you how badly I wish somebody had just said, John, I know that you have a problem and you need help, and I'm here to help you, and it's okay. So if you know somebody that you think might have an issue with anxiety or addiction, go and see them and tell them that you care about them and that you want to help them. Secondly, if you believe or think that addiction or anxiety-related issues are a character flaw, I would like you to please flush that from your mind and forget that you ever thought it to begin with. And it's not because I think you're a bad person for thinking it. I think that our society has conditioned people to think that over time, but it's wrong and it's hurtful and it creates more harm in our collective society than you will ever imagine. Thirdly, if you know someone that has a challenge with substance abuse or with addiction or with anxiety, I would ask that you check in on them. Be their friend, care about them, and force them, even when they don't want your help, force them, because it's something that can be managed, and it's something that you can come back from, and it's something that you can succeed in spite of. And the final thing I'll leave you with is this. As entrepreneurs and as people, we all have a responsibility to support each other. And one of the biggest and easiest ways that we all fall down is through addiction, whether it's drugs, alcohol, gambling, women, whatever, men, if you're a woman, whatever it is. We all have things, we all have vices, and those can be okay. Some of that's okay. We got to blow off a little steam sometimes. But I would ask you all, as a part of our entrepreneurial community, to support one another and to support others in our society so that other people don't have to go through what I went through. Because it's painful, it's scary, it's real, and it is one of the most under-talked about and underappreciated topics in our society today. And so the final request I have for you is talk about it. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid to bring it up. Don't be afraid to talk about it. And that's really all I have to say. So thank you for your time. I hope this wasn't too heavy. The other ones were a little lighter. But I want you all to know that I really appreciate it. And the final thing is, my information is on the EO website. If you personally or anyone you know, ever wants to talk about anxiety or addiction issues, I will talk with them anytime, anywhere, any place, day, night, whatever. So thank you, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.